viewers, and welcome back. In this video on footnotes and references, we will resume our discussion of how to prepare footnotes and references. We ended the last video talking about the main principle behind the composition of footnotes and endnotes. There are certain cardinal principles involved in rendering notes and footnotes. Notes and footnotes are designed to reduce the burden of citing complete bibliographical detail every time you reference a particular text. The first footnote will carry full citation, the name of the author, her work, publication details, and page number. But the subsequent footnotes would not carry full citation. They would only carry the author's name, work, and page number. For example, I wish to begin my essay with a quotation from Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. It is a truth universally acknowledged that a single man in possession of a good fortune must be in want of a wife. This is my first reference to Austen, and I will insert the number 1 after the sentence, slightly above it, and provide all the publication details and page number in the first footnote. But subsequent footnotes to this work will carry truncated details. The footnote number at the bottom would be the same as the reference in the text, but down below it would precede the entry, that is, number 1, which will denote that it is the first entry, Jane Austen, Pride and Prejudice, and the publishing details will follow the numerical. The details of the footnote should be given in the sequential order of the quotations cited in the paragraph. Footnotes should be numbered consecutively throughout the essay or a chapter, and the number should appear as a superscript or a superior figure. The number should never be enclosed in parentheses or followed by a full stop or a dash. So, footnotes and notes, as you have seen, are designed to avoid the repetition of bibliographical details each and every time that we are entering the footnote. To break this monotony, there are general rules as to how these references are made in shortened form. Let us now look at the usage of some of these forms which are integral to academic writing. When you are making a citation, in the footnote you would use IBID. Let us see how IBID is used. IBID is an abbreviation for in the same place. This word is used to refer to the source you have cited in the immediately preceding note. As you can see in the example, the passage you have quoted or the line you have referred to in the text is from Bernard J. Paris, Experiments in Life, and the full title of and the subtitle of his work, separated by a colon, publishing details. Now, the second quotation in your work is also from Bernard J. Paris. So, you use, instead of quoting the entire detail in full, you use the word IBID to denote that you are referring to the same text, and you mention the page number. Now, let us see where you use opposite. Opposite means in the work cited. Here instead of repeating full bibliographical details given earlier, but not in the immediately preceding note, you use this term. As you can see, the first reference is Bernard J. Paris. The second footnote refers to his work again with a different page number. Then the third reference is to another author. And then when you are coming back to Paris after 2 more footnotes, you use the term opposite. So this is how opposite would be used. Another shortened term is loxit. It means in the place cited or in the passage quoted. Now, when you are referring to the same page of a publication as a preceding but not immediately preceding reference, the author's last name and this term is used. Its function is similar to that of IBID. The same example you can see, the first footnote is to Paris, the second again is to Paris. In between, then comes Ashton, and then comes Ashton, the same page again. So you use the term loxit when you are referring to the same page number. Item or id. It is a term no longer in use. It is used to replace an author's name in successive references within a single note to several works by the same author. Please note that even though these terms are from foreign language, none of these terms are to be put in italics. You would also notice that the shortened references to the author contains only the last name of the author. You used Paris, comma, the page number. Similarly, if you are shortening the name of the book by Paris, you would retain the key words of the title, that is, Experiments in Life or simply Experiments. You would drop the subtitle, but you will not change the order of the words in the title. What do you do when you are illustrating, using illustrations in your footnote? Footnotes for illustrative matters such as maps, charts and graphs are not numbered with text footnotes, but they are denoted by superior reference marks such as asterisk, dagger mark, double dagger mark, and so on. What about the notes acknowledging permission? Here, the notes acknowledging permission to reprint are usually given in the front matter of the book. If necessary, they should appear without numbering on the first page of the chapter. The font and the type of footnotes demand special attention. They are different from the main text and therefore they demand a smaller type, and the spacing should also be different from the main text. If your main text is using double spacing line, the footnote will use single spacing. If you're using endnotes, they would be added after each chapter and are marked with legends such as Notes to Chapter 1. you have to be absolutely mindful of consistency. Consistency is an absolute imperative. All notes must follow the same referencing system. Their placement can be either at the foot of the page or at the end of each chapter or at the end of the volume, but the consistency should be maintained throughout the work. Now we come to the reference methodology while you are preparing your research paper. Referencing is a formal and a very important aspect of academic writing, wherein you mention the books and authors you refer to while you are researching your subject. When you write your paper on a particular writer, you also rely on words and ideas articulated by other authors to support your contention, what we earlier referred to as secondary sources. These ideas that enter your paper by way of direct quotation or summary or paraphrase have to be acknowledged by you in your paper. It is very important to acknowledge where you are sourcing your ideas from. Otherwise, it is dubbed plagiarism and there are serious academic consequences for it. This information enters your paper by way of footnotes and endnotes. There are particular fixed formats in which these sources are mentioned, but the ones widely prescribed and followed in the academia are the Modern Language Association, MLA style, American Psychological Association, the APA style, and the Chicago Manual style. Each of these styles have prescribed format of referencing. While your notes and footnotes refer to the work cited by you in your main paper, the entire reading list that you have consulted in composing your work, which has influenced you directly, indirectly, obliquely, is also given in the form of bibliography. Although the information given in footnote and endnotes and bibliography is the same, bibliography comes at the end of your book, at the end of your thesis or dissertation, and it is the complete and exhaustive list of all your readings, primary and secondary, arranged in a fixed format. Now let us come to the most important part of academic writing, where we will discuss the methodology of preparing the note. Your preparation of the note will depend upon the form of work that you are referring to, a book, periodical, or an unpublished document. When you are preparing note or footnotes for books, what do you keep in mind? The following information has to be provided by you in the footnote or the endnote, strictly in this order: author's name, title of the book, compilers, editors, translators, followed by series statement, followed by editions, followed by number of volumes, imprint, volume number if there is one, page number or numbers of the particular citation. Now the name of the author, let us see what are the conventions involved in writing an author's name, surname, abbreviated name, or the group of names. If it's a single author, the first name is followed by the surname as it appears on the title page of the work. Example, F. Scott Fitzgerald. If just the initials of the author's name and surname are given, it should appear without any ado, without any further explanation, as initials only. Example, RK. But what happens if the surname is given in initials, or if the author is writing under a pseudonym? Then an explanation is required. For instance, JKR, you use Rowling in brackets, or George Eliot, which was the pseudonym of Mary Ann Evans. If the writing has appeared anonymously and you have got the author's name from another source, the name of the author is to be entered within brackets, as you see. If you are citing from a book which is authored by 2 or 3 authors, all their names will be rendered in full. Mala Srilal and Namita Gokhale, followed by the rest of the information. If there are more than 3 authors, the name of the first author should be used and the term et al. Should be used, which denotes and others. Note that et al. Will always be in italics, and you would never use etc. for multiple authors. Now, this volume, Gender and Diversity, India, Canada and Beyond, has got multiple authors. It has got 5 authors. So, you would pick on the first author and mention the term et al., which stands for all the rest. If a lot of writers have contributed essays or chapters and the volume is an edited one by 1 or 2 editors, the reference would be made under the name of the editor or the names of the editors. Example, Anjana Neeradev has single-handedly edited this volume, a handbook for academic writing. Malcolm Bradbury and James Farlane have together edited the volume on modernism. Therefore, both the names would be entered. Now let us see how book title is mentioned in footnote. The title of the book is no longer underlined, it is presented in italics. The first and last words in the title and all nouns, pronouns, adjectives, verbs and adverbs are in uppercase. If there is a subtitle, then a colon should separate the subtitle from the title. We have already come across this example. Bernard J. Paris's work, Experiments in Life, is the first half of the title, followed by the subtitle, and you can see that it is separated by a colon. Now, if the book has an alternative title, the first title should be followed by or, a comma, and then the second title. Albert Camus' book, The Outsider, is also published as The Stranger. So, the 2 titles are separated by or and a comma. What happens if there are editors and translators involved? The name of the editor and translator of some other author's work should appear after the name of the work cited or translated. Leo Tolstoy has written Anna Karenina. It has been translated by Marion Schwartz. So, in that order, the original author and then the translator's name. Similarly, George Eliot has written Middlemarch, which is edited by Barbara Hardy. So, the primary author's name and then the editor's name, followed by publication details. Series statement and volume number are also something you would keep in mind. If the book is part of a series of titles, the information of the series follows the title of the book. It is followed by a comma and the volume and the number of the publication in the series, as you can see in the example given above. Edition. The edition statement follows the series statement. Information about edition is to be given when the edition is other than the first one or when it is brought out as a special edition. So you would see that Martin Esslin revised his work Theatre of the Absurd a number of times. So you would write revised and enlarged edition because you are referring to the enlarged edition. Number of volumes. Information about the number of volumes when the publication is in more than one volume follows the edition statement. David Krasner, History of Modern Drama, 2 volumes, but you are referring to volume 1. Imprint contains all the publication details, the name of the place where the book is published, the name of the publisher, and finally the year of publication in that order. The place of publication is followed by a colon, and then the name of the publisher is written, after which a comma is put, followed by the year of publication. Cambridge, Cambridge University Press, the year of publication. If the book is simultaneously published in 2 places, then you would mention both the places in this manner. The name of the author, the work, London and New York, separated by semicolon. Reference number. This marks the final entry in your citation. You have to cite the exact page number of the book from which you are quoting words, lines, and passages. You use the abbreviated word P followed by a period for the page number and PP followed by a period if the quoted passage runs over 2 pages. Let us look at the important components of a periodical when you are preparing note or footnotes for periodical. When you are citing a periodical, you are required to mention your citation from a journal or a periodical where the key elements you should be attentive to are author's name, title of the article, name of the periodical, volume and number of the periodical, date of publication, page number of the citation, in strictly that order. When you are writing the title of the article, remember that unlike the name of book, which you italicized, the name of the article is always put within quotation marks and is given in Roman type. Instead, the name of periodical is put in italics and capitalized according to the rules given for book titles. The rules of punctuation and capitalization of the title also remain the same as those applied to book titles. Then when you are referencing an unpublished documents, many times you might have to refer to unpublished theses, dissertations submitted to universities, reports prepared by institutions. And when you cite from these documents, you have to mention the following information in the same order: title of the document, date, folio number, name of the collection, name and address of the institution, page numbers of the particular citation. Example, Diary of Virginia Woolf remains unpublished and it is in custody of British Museum and Library, so you would cite it in this manner: the folio number and the place and address where it is situated, followed by page number. So these are the points that you will, technical points that you will keep in mind when you are preparing footnotes and references. It is to be done with complete meticulousness, with great attention of detail, because any slip on your part will result in grave error. So let us look at what we have learned in this lecture on a very important aspect of academic writing. Good, correct, and accurate referencing is an integral part of writing activity. We learned about the difference between the compilation of a note and the preparation of bibliography for the reference of the readers, although most of the information included in the two are identical. We also learned that the preparation of note depends entirely on the kind of work you are referring to, be it a book, a periodical, or an unpublished document. We looked at all the technical aspects, conventions, and norms that govern the preparation of notes. And with this knowledge in the background, you are all set to compose an academic paper. Thank you.